flying at our faces, that is the volume that we collectively as a group would have made when casting our spell. So we're going to try it again this time. Yeah, but that's what I want, some real power behind it. So we're going to try again. Rossio Loomis in the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Rossio Loomis! That was fantastic. Right, let's go. You need to get very close. In this stop, usually it's more of a widespread situation, but I feel like I'm being backed up against a wall. They had left the Hogwarts grounds completely. They had obviously travelled miles, perhaps hundreds of miles, for even the mountains surrounding the castle were gone. They were standing instead in a dark and overgrown graveyard. The black outline of a small church was visible. Now, for some house points, can anybody tell me which Harry Potter book that was from?
Goblet of Fire.
10 points to?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff, off to a great start. And Hufflepuff has 10 points from before because of your great screaming. I also, coincidentally, am a Hufflepuff, but that's definitely not why this is happening. So that's right.
If Dumbledore can do it, then so can you.
Exactly. It's from the 4th Harry Potter book, The Goblet of Fire, in the scene where Harry and Cedric grab the Triwizard Cup, which turns out to be a portkey, and it transports them to the graveyard in Little Hangleton, where Voldemort returns to the flesh, and Harry and Voldemort have their duel in person for the first time. So this is the graveyard that graveyard is based on. This is Greyfriars Kirkyard, and it is the most haunted.
That's what he said. You'll see a ton of tours out here.
Ada etannya kan? Banyak etannya.
Ini kuburan beneran dikit kan?
Kayak di Gunung Padang ada kuburan Siti Nurbaya aja. Yakin orang Padang nonton Siti Nurbaya cuma satu.
Basically, all the people in the production of the film said to her, like, it's okay if you don't do this, like, we understand you're really ill. And she said, no, I'm going to do it because this is how much Harry Potter means to me, and this is how much Harry Potter means to people everywhere. Which I think is a really inspirational message for us being Harry Potter fans we are. So yeah, Maggie Smith is a total babe. Okay, we're now going to move on to our next stop, which usually I would do where she's standing. But basically, everyone go and look through those gates and have a look at... Together. Lots of different coloured shots packed one in next to the other, and even the 2 layers is pretty magical. But it's not just the way the street looks that has inspired Diagon Alley. There are also corresponding street shops in this street as you would find in that one. For example, there is an antiques bookshop like Flourish and Blots. There is a shop that sells wands along with other magic paraphernalia like Ollivander's. The Pizza Express that we just walked by in the 90s when she was writing the books was a big bank at the head of the street, just like how Gringotts is the big bank at the head of Diagon Alley. And even down at the other end of the street, there is a joke shop like Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes. However, they have a sign inside their store saying J.K. Rowling never came in here, do not ask. So they don't want to be so disturbed with Harry Potter films, which is pretty cool. She was a few years above me in school, and yes, we did talk. One time she asked me to pass the salt, so we're pretty much best friends now, in my opinion. The second thing is I was lucky enough to meet J.K. Rowling once at a book signing at a castle up in the Highlands. It was really cool, but I didn't have very long to decide what I was going to say to her, so the best I could come up with was, I'd just like to say thank you for everything. I'm sure she'd never heard that before. Okay, I now have one final piece of Harry Potter trivia to leave you all on, which is that, for one night only, for the publishing of the 6th Harry Potter book, the Half-Blood Prince, Edinburgh Castle was transformed into Hogwarts. So there was a competition for a bunch of school children to write 200 words about why Harry Potter meant so much to them. And the lucky winning children got picked up in the bottom of the Royal Mile in horse-drawn carriages and rode to the top where the Great Hall in the castle was transformed into the Great Hall in Hogwarts. Now I'm talking banners, flags, magicians, musicians, acrobats. There were projectors onto the ceiling to make it look like the night sky, and there were hundreds of candles hanging from invisible wires. There were 4 big long wooden tables, and the food popped out of the tables, and these kids got to banquet to their heart's content. And then, as if that wasn't enough, when the clock struck midnight, J.K. Rowling came out from the back of the hall and read to them the beginning of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince before anyone else in the world had ever heard it before.
Wow.
So I tell that story for 3 reasons. Firstly, because it's really cool. Secondly, because I'm always hoping that one day one of the kids that was there is going to be on my tour and be like, I was there. And thirdly, because why not give everybody somebody to be a little bit more jealous about for the rest of the day? So that's all that I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the Potter Trail. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Thank you.